everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Risky Rollers podcast. Take 2, because I fucked up the audio on the first one.
I was going to say, it's like, are you sure it's
I'm,
episode 14? Are you sure it's not episode 15?
Yeah, no, definitely episode 14, and we didn't just record 20 minutes of one without recording.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so, I'm Dalton, and I'm joined by Lockie,
Hello.
joined by Charlie,
Hello.
for his first time returning, joined by Lawrence,
What's up, what's up?
who is back yet again, and all four of us are here, and we're here for a reason, because we're doing a thing. Risky Rollers is going to Geelong.
Going to Geelong. We're just having a nice weekend away.
Yep.
We're going to, go see the 12 Apostles, you know.
Drink some mimosas.
Yeah, we're going to hang out and
Yeah.
just tell each other how much we love each other.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I
And
think
also-
we might, if we get a little bit of time in there, just maybe, might pop down to a. I hear there's a tournament happening in the area, so we might pop into that.
Oh,
say
yeah,
hi,
that
see
sounds
what's
pretty
going on.
cool. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What's that one called?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see. Do you have the play pack up by any chance?
I actually
I
don't
do.
again.
You do. Fantastic.
Why don't you have it up? You just
I don't know. Where's the link for it?
Wait, does no one? Do you still not have the player pack? Up,
I
Lockie?
still don't have it up.
Unbelievable, Lucky.
Fuck's sake.
This is my take
Okay,
too.
so-
and I still
Hold on. What about Lawrence and Charlie? Do you guys have it up now?
They've
Yeah.
got it up. They're not retarded. They've got it up. I'm
They're
not.
both watching. They're both watching the podcast chat where I've messaged you all the link to the player pack. Not to mention the fact that we should all have it in general, and it's been up on Facebook for the last
for a while.
3 months. Yeah. Okay, so we're all going down to Geelong Heresy 2021, 3,000 point Warhammer 40k tournament. It's kind of like a semi-comp tournament. It's more of like a casual. Come along, bring 3,000 points, take some fun stuff. They've added a super heavy detachment that is just free, and you can bring up to 10 super heavies in it, and they all gain your detachment abilities. So essentially, it's just encouraging you to bring the things that you want to bring to have a bit of fun. It doesn't affect like knights, for example, because they already had their version of it, but it will affect things like Wraith Knights, which I believe Charlie may or may not have in his list.
I definitely have one on my list.
Nice, good stuff. And yeah, so it's organised. Over here, organised. Well, big thank you to the TOs, which just Adam, Kingsley, Nikki, and Maddie, and everyone else involved with organising it. I think it's the first big event coming out of lockdown for Victoria.
I think it is.
Um,
Well, you know what? I'm saying it is. I don't care if it isn't. It's the biggest. It's
It is now.
it is because
'Cause we're there.
The Rescue Rollers crew is going to be there.
Exactly. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
Nothing else counts. This is it.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, look, overall the tournament is pretty much standard.
Yep.
The missions.
Standard
There's going to be
fare.
some surprise missions. Apparently.
Yep. We'll find those out each round as we get to them.
So
Um,
I'm assuming when I say surprise, is in I think they're actually making custom missions because there's only 3 from the core rulebook at 3,000 points. So
Yeah, so it says expect missions akin to those in the 2021 mission pack, albeit with some quirky twists.
which is
Weird
cool.
twists.
Which is cool.
That
I'm
is
hoping they have some open war style flavor.
Yeah.
Oh,
even
this
even
mission.
some of the 3,000 point game flavor they have in the main book, because the missions in the main book are good.
They actually are kind of cool.
They
They're
are good,
they're it's weird how they complicated a bigger game with more stuff. You know what I mean? Like some of the terms and conditions or I guess
But,
scoring
I mean,
points and
once-
stuff on those ones are so much more require so much more thinking, and then you've got this bigger army with all these other
Yeah,
things to
yeah.
worry about.
But to be fair, once you get past the horrendous way they're written, they're actually some really cool missions. Like the way they actually work is pretty cool.
That diagonal one with the AB AA BB
Oh, yeah.
CC one,
Yeah,
and then you have to
that's-
if you control A and C, you
Yeah.
get more points. I like that. I thought.
That's
I mean, I
really
didn't play.
cool.
I haven't played it, but in theory, I was like, "Oh, that sounds sick."
Yeah, it's a cool mission.
But
Yeah. So it's cool. It's. I mean, it's
Yeah.
all of our first tournaments.
True.
First major tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. It's
I mean-
it's worth pointing out. It's not ranked. It's not part of the ITC. It's not submitted to Down Under pairings. And again, this is just because they want to encourage a more casual atmosphere for it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Waggers from the Discord was saying that someone's bringing a warlord. So
nice. All right.
You know.
That's fantastic.
I
I really hope I get paired up against it.
same. I so wanted
That would be
just to be
amazing.
like just
What? So, what those massive models?
yeah,
Yes.
a Titan,
Oh,
warlord
wow.
Titan.
Just
So that's the
one
one with like
model.
the crazy double cannons on the shoulders and the big
Yep.
handguns and the guns everywhere.
That's awesome.
Sounds sore.
So they're literally 3,000 points.
Yeah,
for one
3,000 points. One
Yeah.
model.
That's so hilarious.
That's amazing.
And they have void shields and everything. It's like, oh man, it's so cool.
Mm.
I just want to
It's,
see it too. Like if it is there, like
yeah,
how's
I
it
just wanna
painted?
see
Is it
that
like
thing, like,
legit?
it's-
Is it a printed
yeah,
one?
yeah,
Like is
totally.
it cardboard? It would be so funny if the dude it's out of cardboard.
Yeah, but if he's done it out of cardboard, it looks good.
But even if it doesn't look cool, like it's not even painted. It's
Well,
just
okay, yeah.
cardboard, like
It's
with
just
like PVC and stuff.
He's just brought his kid in like a Transformers costume and stands him on the board. It'd be amazing.
That would be awesome.
They are so expensive in Forge World.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They're like $4,000 or whatever. Yeah.
2,358 without
There you go.
having like
Without
guns,
weapons
the
and
arms,
stuff.
and the head, and the shield.
Yeah.
They wonder why people print stuff. Far out.
Wow.
But yeah, so one of the things that we're going to be doing for this tournament is while we won't be doing a full coverage like video thing because we're still figuring out how the tournament atmosphere will work and how we can integrate a video with that. We're going to be running updates on Instagram.
Yes.
So check out the Risky Rollers Instagram at Risky Rollers to see all the main rounds and results and what's going on and a few cool pictures and stuff.
We'll do it
And
now.
Make sure to
Do it now. Right now.
we'll do it of course because this
Do
is
it now.
coming out. We're in Geelong.
No, it's,
So as-
this is out right now. So
This
do
is
it.
out, yeah. So as soon as you're hearing this,
Don't even hear
we're
it.
in Geelong. We're
just
playing
stop.
it right now. Stop what
Yeah,
you're doing.
just stop what
Go
you're
over to the.
Watch
Stop
our
in a moment
stories.
after you've heard us tell you where to go. But stop. Go and check that out. It's at Risky Rollers to see all the stuff going on there, and then Risky Rollers Lockie and Risky Rollers Dalton and Bali Scenics for Charlie.
Yes.
Go check all them out. We'll be doing updates for the games, for the missions. How they're going. Everything going on with the day.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna vlog it pretty heavy, so
Yeah.
you're probably just gonna see my chops, and probably every single person that I play with, I'm just gonna shove the camera in their face as long as they're happy with it, and be like, talk to our audience.
But yeah, so check all that out. We're going to be doing some, I guess, a bit of coverage of that there, and just kind of looking forward to enjoying the day or the days, the weekend.
I keep forgetting that it's days. I think
It
I'm like,
is,
yeah,
it's-
it's 1 day. Like, no, it's 2 days.
Like
It's
about
2 days.
what is it? 3 weeks ago, you're just like, oh, I think it's only 1 day, dude. It's like, no, it's a whole
Yeah.
weekend.
It's a
You're like,
whole
"Ah."
weekend.
It's like,
I
have you
know.
read the player pack?
Clearly, I have, and then I forgot it. That's how good I am at
Let's-
stuff.
Let's go. Let's go with that. That was yeah. But yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. And if you're checking those out, which are all linked down in the description as well, check out the Discord and the Patreon for all that kind of stuff, which I'm plugging at like 10 minutes into the podcast apparently, because that's when this should happen.
Don't worry about it.
yeah.
Everyone knows where to go now for this one.
Everyone knows now. That's where it is. Patreon, you get free shit. We
And-
even have
and
t-shirts
no,
now. That's cool.
Yes,
That's cool.
you actually do get some more substantial free stuff and the
Yeah, yeah.
exclusive podcast there, and
Exclusive podcast.
What else?
Exclusive narrative campaign.
And?
Early access.
there you go. That's the
to
one.
Bat Rep. All right, one of the things that you're trying to get out of me. Early access to both to the Bat Reps. They come out alongside the pregame show now. So
Hey,
you can listen to us talk about our lists and immediately watch us play them.
that's it.
So that's pretty cool for patrons.
Yep.
And then if you're pledging at the $10 level, you get a free T-shirt.
T-shirt.
pretty cool.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah. Right, with all that nonsense and shilling out of the way, the tournament. I'm excited. You're excited?
So
We are
excited.
excited.
No, you're pretty chill, pretty relaxed.
No,
about
I'm
it?
super excited. That was my sarcasm if you didn't notice. Oh no, I'm pumped. the fact that this is the first time we're out, we're finally getting to engage with the community that we've been talking at /with /to for like, what, 6 months, 7 months now, from us as Risky Rollers and all the people that we're building within our community as well, and seeing all these people online and not being able to meet them, being able to finally meet them and go, hey, I mean, they know what we look like, as in Dalton, you and I, but, we don't know what they look like, so I want to see what people look like.
It's going to be great to meet people in person again and just be at an event and an entire event with people who are all into Warhammer and doing the same thing. It's going to be amazing.
Well, I'm scared. I think I've forgotten how to socialise.
Yeah, but
genuinely understandable.
It's fine.
Like, I mean, I was with some friends of the weekend, and I was like, oh, do I really have to be here? You just get so used to being at home there. It's crazy.
Try to go home and
I want to be an introvert.
Talk to them there instead.
Yeah. It's gonna take me all of about 25 minutes to deal with that. No, I think it's a really good way for us, not only as kind of newer-ish players. I mean, like, this is, I think, where Dalton, this is not your first, as you were saying before, and this isn't my first tournament either, but it's my first tournament in like 20 years. So, it's my first tournament in all respect, really.
Yep.
We don't know what the state of the scene is like, and this is just going to be a really good introduction, being that it's a more kind of laxed kind of environment, I guess. Everyone's going to be so pumped because of the fact, that we've been let out of prison, and we're allowed to go and mingle. And then also, that it's not taken too seriously. That is kind of a bit, I mean, I know I'm taking a kind of jokey list that's not really, well, it's strong, but it's not like, it's not meta at all.
Yeah.
And it's going to get walked over pretty easy, but hey, it'll be funny.
Yeah. Well, actually, and Lawrence, I believe you made this observation, so take over if
for me,
going on.
it would be my very first tournament, so I'm really very stoked and excited. And at the same time, of course, as I've mentioned, like when Lucky built this community like last year, so we have plans
August of
to
2020.
learn together, enjoying together, and now we are at least going to an event wherein we would go as a group.
Yeah, I mean, I think I remember the first event. I think it was literally like a month after we'd started playing in Bayside Tabletop. I think it was the four of us, and I think Scotty and like.
So you had just moved into your new house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was that teams tournament, the VTC or whatever.
The VTC, Victorian Team Championship.
Yeah, which we were gonna go to. And that would have been so funny if we went to that, legit. Because, like, team tournaments is such a different kind of thing. And
we would have had no idea what we were doing.
And it would have been so funny to go, actually. But, yeah, so we missed out on that. I think that was purely because barely any of us had actually 2K of paint, of an actually painted army. So, I think finally, I mean, obviously COVID puts a spanner in everyone's works, right? But
there's been, 3 or 4 other tournaments we've tried to go to.
Yeah.
That COVID's been like, well, that's not happening.
Yep. I mean, we would have been up in Brisbane for the normal blokes. There was 3 other ones in Geelong that got canned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because we live in Melbourne. It's a very big city. There are no tournaments in Melbourne. They're always in Geelong.
There will be in January.
There will be in January.
But we'll come to that probably at a later point.
More on that later.
But yeah. So very quickly, we've mentioned Bayside Tabletop a couple of times. This was the club that Lockie started in August of 2020, where we sort of got together as a bunch of gamers on the Bayside side of Melbourne.
Randomly off the internet, mind you.
Facebook.
Yeah, like Lockie put a post up on Facebook, and we all sort of responded and got in touch. And now we're this club, Bayside Tabletop, play 40k, and we do all that. If you want to be involved, jump into the Discord, the Risky Roll Discord, and you can chat with us, and we organise events through there.
Yep.
But we got together primarily to learn 9th edition and to learn to play again. because I believe for most of you were fairly new, and Lockie was returning.
Yeah, I played like
Um,
4 games of 8, I think.
Yeah, and because of course COVID lockdown meant we couldn't play it all for like a year and a half, and Ninth Edition came out right in the middle of that for us.
Yeah.
So there was several months of us going, well, Ninth Edition sounds really cool. If only we could play it.
Yeah.
And this is the observation that Lawrence made in our first attempt at recording this, was that coming to this tournament, as this group is 4 of us who have sort of become like the core group of the club who are showing up to everything and doing all that, going from getting together and really starting to learn to play together to attending an event together is a really satisfying culmination of that whole experience, that whole journey.
Yeah, it is. It just makes me really pumped for the future of things like team events, where like I know team events normally it's like sometimes 6 players, right? It's normally
Four players is pretty standard, but occasionally 6.
Yeah, so I mean,
four players is VTC.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just get pumped, and especially because of the armies we play too. You know, like we actually just naturally play varied armies that where we work quite well as the shield and the sword lists that we need to do and focus on our matchups and all those kinds of things. But it's very exciting. It's very I'm pumped to be going and doing this with you guys. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Boys weekend.
Yeah. That too. Risky rollers going wild.
Yeah. Actually, so on that note of armies, I think we'll take a very quick break and hear a bit from Dice Arcade, and then we'll come right back at you and we'll talk about what armies we're all playing and bringing, and then go very quickly through some of the lists and talk a bit about that.
DiceArcade.com.au. All the biggest brands in miniatures and wargaming. Free postage over $250.
Thanks for that, Tim. And make sure to use the code Risky Rollers to grab yourself a discount when you check out. So let's move on a little bit, and we'll actually go through what armies we're all bringing and why. And so before we get into the actual lists and going into a little more detail about them, let's just talk a little bit what we're bringing. So Charlie, you're bringing the Eldar, I presume?
Yes, Harlequins and Eldar.
Harlequins and Craftworks. Very
Space
nice.
elf soup, eh?
Yes, indeedy. Just because I've got
Very
these new models got painted, and I want to show them off to people.
They're so nice too.
Yeah.
They're
painted by, I've already forgotten the name of the guy.
Shaky Sable.
Shaky Sable.
Yeah.
Shaky.
Pictures.
Shaky.
Shaky. I don't know.
Shaky.
It's Shaky. It's Shaky.
Look,
Yeah, it's Shaky. Shaky.
I say it with
Sable.
I say it with an accent, okay?
I should really ask him. Or her. If
Probably should,
If it's
yeah.
him or her, be like, bro, how do I pronounce your name? Because we're gonna
It's
be
him.
That's a him. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Well, we'll link them down in the description, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're bringing the Eldar. What makes you want to bring the Eldar?
Well, they're my one love. You know, it's my first army that I had when I was a little prepubescent teen. You know,
When you were a wee lad.
when a wee lad in the glen. You know. So
In
that's
the
what-
Glen, as in like Glen Waverley, the Glen.
No, a glen is a valley in Scottish.
Oh. I was like, what? I thought you were always Bayside. Anyway, for people that are not from Melbourne, they will have no idea what that meant. So, digress.
Anyway, so bringing Elder just
Yeah.
purely because they were my love back in the day, and just I thought I would start collecting them again. And you know what? They're still my love. I love them. They're so shit, but I love them.
Well, you say that though, man. With the balance change, with some of their builds, especially Harley and some of the indirect fire stuff they can get from Reapers and other bits and pieces, they're not as bad. I mean, they're still bad, but they're not as bad as they were.
There's definitely some units which are just like OP as hell, which are amazing, like Wraith Seers and stuff. They're super strong with the D cannons out of. But yeah, there's other things that are just like our troop choices are just a bit meh.
Yeah.
They're just a bit
That's pretty
meh.
cool. So 3,000 points. How have you gone with getting all that painted and ready?
Well, I've been working on mine for about 4 years.
Fair enough.
And also, I get mine painted by somebody else. because I'm a new father and I don't have all the time in the world.
Oh yes.
But yeah, so I've been painting it for quite a while now since I got engaged. So it's last 3 years actually. So it's just slow burning process, but we're there now, and now I have about 5,000 points worth painted.
Sweet, and it's an epic looking army when it's all put together. So always a joy to see them on the table.
Do you say you have 5,000 points of painted?
Yes, I do.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, your
Put the rest
avatar
of us
is
to shame.
sick. I'm so happy that that's in your list because it looks dope.
Yeah, like I've never used him. Like I've used him the last 2 times we've caught up and played, and he's just a beat stick. He's
Yeah,
great.
bro.
Yeah,
Like dealing
he
out.
dies to a stiff breeze.
Oh yeah,
But if he hits,
he hits you
oh
like
boy.
20 wounds average. It's just incredible. He puts out.
And he can resurrect, right?
He can use resurrect if he dies in combat, which is really cool. So it's three.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's 3 CP, so it's quite pricey, but he comes back up with as many wins as you roll a dice, which is
Yeah.
good.
Nice.
But yeah.
So do you want to just give us a quick breakdown of your list?
Yes. So basically, I'm bringing a battalion and a patrol. Battalion is of the craft world, just because I don't often use troops in my list that I build, and this is a tournament to bring things you don't often use. So I'm bringing all the Dire Avengers that I have, and to make them good, I'm bringing a Sermon as well. So he gives them a 4-up invulnerable save,
Yeah, nice.
which is really good.
Sweet.
And the Sermon is just obviously he's the original and he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm bringing
You've done a sweet conversion on him as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a custom built one that I made out of another model and sort of just kit bashed it together.
Actually, very quickly, something I should mention as well. Sorry to cut
Yeah.
you for a sec. All the lists in detail will be linked in a doc in the description because I can't fit them all into a video description. And we're going to be showcasing each of these armies on the Risky Rolls Instagram next week. So make sure that you're paying attention to all that as well.
Yeah, pay attention.
Pay attention.
You get homework. We're going to send you guys homework, and you're going to have to send your answers in, and then you don't want to get an F.
What paints did Charlie use on the weathering on a Sermon's shuriken cannons?
Exactly.
Wrong answer.
Exactly.
But yeah, check all those out. So if you want to see these epic conversions and the sweet paint jobs and stuff, that'll all be up on the Instagram over the next week.
Check it out.
Sorry, Charlie. Please continue.
I will continue. Thank you. Yeah. So where was I? I'm also bringing the Avatar just because
Because it's awesome.
he's awesome, and it's such a 3D printed model I got from I bought the files a while ago, and I just got printed by somebody here in Melbourne, and it's just a sick model. It's really cool.
So just quickly, the Avatar. Do you have to summon him, or does he just
Nah.
exist?
Nah, he's well in the lore. They have to summon. They have to
Yeah. Because I remember
sacrifice
that's
an exarch.
The Incarn you have to summon onto the table.
Yeah.
For all you diehard Eldari players out there, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember
Please
that
do.
you
Then
could,
bash him in the comments.
in 3rd edition, maybe 3rd, I think it was 3rd, if a Guardian died, a Farseer could turn that Guardian into the Avatar? Or something like that.
That'd be sick.
That's pretty sweet.
I swear to
that's
God that was a
basically-
thing that
That's
could happen.
kind of how the Incarn works now.
Yeah.
When a unit dies, you can bring the Incarn into
And
the
you
board.
pop up when they die. Yeah.
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 Anyway.
Anyway, sorry, so that can't happen, but I was just like,
No.
just imagining, like,
He's
because it's
just
like
an
in the
HD
in the
choice.
game Dawn of War as well, right? You know how it was the same way because the when you bought the unit or you made the unit in Dawn of War, it would be a Eldari Farseer, I think, or someone would like levitate in the air and then like explode in blood and then just fire and then it's like, I'm the Avatar, and you're like, yes.
Sure.
No, you guys don't remember that?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool, good. Just didn't get a lot of enthusiasm there, so I was like, right, whatever. Right, I'll shut up now. Continue, Charlie.
Thank you for the second time. So yeah, that's my HQs is them. I should have said this is a custom craft world, just because makes everything fun. So I've got expert crafters, which is broken as hell, and hunters of ancient relics, which is always fun. Then I'm bringing 3 units of Dire Avengers, just with an Exarch in each, so 5 Dire Avengers and an Exarch. So
very fluffy until with the summon.
Exactly. So that's what I'm bringing with them. And then because I love them, I'm bringing some Wraith Blades with the axe and the shield, just because they are just super sick models. Everything Wraith, I love.
Everything Wraith is like super cool.
Yeah. They're just bigger and they're bulkier and they're just beat stick. Well, they can take a beating pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's my
beats.
Yeah, stick beats exactly. so that's my elite choices, and I'm bringing 2 fast attacks, which is the good old shining spears, which are very nice. And then I'm bringing a unit of warp spiders to get me some rod.
Yep,
that's always good. And then I'm going heavy on the heavy support, so I'm bringing 2 Wraith Seers with D cannons. One of the Wraith Seers is swapped out Smite for Witch Strike. So in combat, it gets D3 plus 5 damage.
It's so hectic.
It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
That in conjunction with Expert Crafters and Hunters of Ancient Relics, it gives me an extra attack next to objective marker. So it's like 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on usually 2s.
But plus Doom and other things.
Exactly.
Like, whatever.
I took out a Tailwind in 1 attack with this dude.
That's
a couple of weeks ago.
That's awesome.
And I was
so
just like,
cool.
that was ridiculous.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm bringing 8 Dark Reapers. I've never taken this many before.
1 squad of 8?
Yeah, so I'm taking 7 Dark Reapers and an Exarch.
Oh, right, okay, yep.
I've never taken that many before, but I haven't painted, so I thought, fuck it, why not?
Well.
I'm going to bring them all.
Yeah.
And then just a Wave Serpent to fire and fade them into, pretty standard. Yeah. Then Patrol is the Harlequins. So I'm bringing a Shadow Seer, a Troop Master. I'm going to, the Soaring Spite mask form. So that means they can go in a transport and still fire their guns. They can advance and still fire their guns. So they're all the troop. So I'm bringing 2 troops as well, and they're all got fusion pistols and Harlequin's Caress. So they're shooty and fighty.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and 2 Star Weavers as well, just for moving them up the board. My HQ, my Warlord's gonna be the Shadow Seer, so I can get access to some of their cool things, which is I can't remember. It's something cool anyway. I'm sure I'll remember it the day. And then obviously you gotta bring out the Wraith Knight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not bringing the Forge World Wraith Knight just because I didn't have it painted up well enough, and I wanted the points to put into this more of the things. So it's just a standard Wraith Knight with a big sword, big shield. So it's got an invulnerable save and 2 star cannons. Because what I found out when I was playing you, Dalton, and you Lawrence the other week was I didn't have much to take out knights, if anything.
Yeah.
So just like lacking anti-tank.
Yeah, exactly. So like I had the D cannons, but Lawrence shot them off the board before I could even get them up the board. So
that'll happen.
Yeah, that'll happen. So the Wraith Knight, at least his sword is super strong. It's like strength 16 and 6 damage each. So, hopefully I can. Yeah. So he will get shot at. He's a bullet magnet. That's what he's there for. So hopefully I can get the other things up, like the Wraith Seers and the Avatar, and get them up into combat and bring the pain.
Yeah. Sweet.
And that's pretty much my list. It is 3,996 points.
Nice.
Lots of models.
3,996 points?
2,996 points.
I was like, wow.
1,000 extra.
Yeah. It's because I need that many. I'm Eldar, Loads of models it's gonna be so confusing to try and remember them all, but I'm super excited to get them on the board.
Yeah. Sweet. So, how about you, Lawrence?
All right.
What do you bring into the table?
Yeah, I'm also be bringing my favorite army, which is the Imperial Knights, because it's my favorite. I'm supposed to bring the Admech, but I know people will hate me. So
I'm
apparently,
sure
Knights
out
are
of
really
36
good.
players, I'm sure there's at least one other AdMech player.
And there's gonna be some Dark Elder players as well, surely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So apparently, Knights are already good because the small Knights get their obsec, and then so I'm bringing them because they are my favorite army. So I will be running a Custoris Mechanicus House Crest. I am actually in two detachment. One is the actual super heavy, wherein the Knight Magera would be my warlord. I would have a Cerastus Knight Lanza, one Knight Gallant, and then two Warglaves in that detachment. And then the special GH21 super heavy detachment, that would be a custom house. I will not say what are their special powers now. It's also a surprise. But there would be one Knight Magera there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Knight Moiraxes over there. So yeah, I'm super happy.
Moiraxes with lightning locks?
Three with lightning locks,
Yeah.
and then two of them would be the Siege Claw and the Rad Cleansa. Sorry, Siege Claw and Volkite Pugle.
And Volkite, okay. Right.
The lightning locks are horrific, as I learned as they minced warriors in that game.
There was a it was on a podcast I was listening to, and they were asking like, what's the best? I think it was Forge Narrative. They were talking about like, what's the best strength 6 weapon in the game, melee or ranged, and like straight off the bat, I was like, lightning locks, hands down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
for what is it? 48-inch range, strength 6.
36.
36.
Inch
Strength
range.
6 -2, 1 damage. Tesla,
Tesla.
double exploding 6s.
Yeah.
Correct.
Getting 12 shots if you got 2 of them. It's just like,
So
it's
It's what the Annihilation Barge wishes it was.
it was hectic. And it's the -2. I seriously, obviously it's exploding
Oh,
as
it
well.
is.
it's the
And
exploding
this-
sixes. When Lawrence rolls, it's the exploding sixes.
Oh man, it's like bro, you roll just like, if it didn't have exploding 6s, you know what? You wouldn't roll 6s. You'd just roll 5s and 3s and 4s.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the fact that it's 6s, it's like, I've got 3 6s. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Minimum is always 12 shots again.
Pretty
Mm,
much,
yeah.
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 You're averaging max shots, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So that's
So-
pretty
Oh,
simple.
sorry. I still have another auxiliary. I forgot. I always forgot this one. I have the.
Oh, I have more. I have 3
support.
other knights. Sorry guys, I forgot. I have like another. I have
This
another
is not
800
a
points.
knight, but this is the assassin, the collector's.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to be prepared with all those psychic power shenanigans. So because I
All
see
the
it's
Grey
100
Knights,
points,
T-Suns,
why not
would
just
be there.
throw an assassin in there?
It'd be so funny. Well, actually, there's probably going to be demons, and there's definitely going to be grey knights. So you
Yeah.
know, that will be fun.
Yeah, can be useful
It'd
to some.
be pretty hilarious if you just were put into like Necrons and Dark Eldar for the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
I will
And
just
like,
use
what
it
if
for.
you-
Or just like normal Space Marines as well, and just be like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not. Look, the thing that is, I actually, as much as the psychic deny is crazy with the Calexis, it's the 6s to hit.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just you have to hit him on a 6. You're like, ugh. This thing
Yeah.
is lame. So it can be like,
Like,
oh,
I've
I'm
gotta
on an
deal with
objective
him,
now, or
but
I'm
I
giving you
can't.
engage, or whatever, and you're
Yeah,
like, well, you can't
yeah.
kill it.
Yeah.
So he would,
don't
if there
die.
would be no psychers, then he would just be, like an engage. What do you call this one? I would just use him for engage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit on
Objective,
one
so-
corner. Yeah, sit on one quarter, and then that's it. All the knights would just go forward and bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
So many shots.
Oof.
Oh.
Ooh,
Especially with that damage 5 Warlord Megara.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love the Gera.
gives me shudders.
Yeah. It's such an impressive army to play against too.
Oh yeah, the models are beautifully painted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're sick.
Well, actually, I mean, Lawrence, the ones with the cream carapace, those ones that you did, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So that's actually a House Griffith one, that color theme. So that's actually my favorite house because of like they kill dragons, this and this. So I like House Griffith, but they are not good as a house. So I'm playing the Questor Mechanicus House Crest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you want to be Necrons,
Yeah.
healing those wounds.
Oh, and the relics that they get. The relics.
Oh, the
that
relics are
create
fantastic.
fucking
Your relics are
ridiculous.
good.
Again, it's Mechanicus, right? See, it's
Yes.
just Admech. It's not even Imperial Knights. You're playing Admech Knights.
You're still playing Admech.
You're still playing Admech. It doesn't matter.
But at least they are not from House Lucius or Mars, so people won't hate me.
I'll still.
We'll still hate you.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll step up to the plate for that.
No, it'd be really good. It'd be really interesting to see what. I mean, look, it'll depend on what the field is, but I hope the field is just as, whatever and crazy. But it'll be a good test for the night changes.
Yes.
I think it's going to be good.
I mean, I'll mention it quickly here that you and I had a practice game the other day. The Knights were a real challenge to play against, and it ended up being a really close game.
Yeah, very close.
It was really close.
Which was streamed live to the Discord as well.
It was, and that was awesome, man. I was watching that while I was cooking. I was like, "This is amazing." I'm not going to put a timeline on it, but streaming is going to be a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. We're going to be doing that.
But the Knights list, like, it was a hard list to play into, but it was a really good challenge to go into. And as always, Lawrence, you made it a joy to play against and to play with.
Thank you.
So yeah, I'm really interested to see how you do with it, because there's some new tricks and things you can do now. They got Obsec and they count as 10 models.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
So how about you, Lockie? You mentioned that you've been working on a few new things for your army.
Yeah, so I'm taking Tyranids, surprise.
Yep.
And when I found out about the whole detachment thing, I was like, oh man, now I can take the big bugs.
Yep.
And not feel bad about taking big bugs because someone's going to be there with Warlord Titan, and Lawrence is going to be there with his 15 knights. So, yeah, this is not at all something that would be. I mean, look, to be honest, I'm still trying to figure out how to work the new book and like what works, and I think it's going to be infantry heavy. But anyway, this list is pretty funny. So, it is a battalion and the heresy thing.
The custom detachment they're putting.
The
out
custom
for
detachment.
this-
Yeah. So it's just
event?
the patrol. The battalion is Leviathan. We have a Neurothrope with all the buffing goodness, everything, the rerolls and the works. Swarm Lord, and then a unit of Ripper Swarms, 3 units of warriors with the +1 to hit buff, 6 Hive Guard, Dimachiron, Barbed Hierodule, Harridan, Hierophant.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love every word you just said.
So I was like,
how many of the big Forge World
so there's 4.
mega bugs are you bringing? 4.
So the mega bugs is the 2 because we only have 2. So originally, like before actually Lawrence showed me the detachment, I was like, oh my god, I have to lose 6 CP to bring this. But I was like, who cares, whatever. Because we don't have 3.
Oh, before Lawrence showed you the detachment, that was where, Lockie?
Yes, it was in the ethos.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't included prominently in the player pack.
Yes, definitely in the player pack. Anyway, before I saw that, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be like bled all this CP, man. And yeah, so I didn't have to, so that was really good. So it's the only 2 big bugs that we have, the Hierophant and the Harridan. Mind you, I don't even have my Hierophant yet, and of recording. So this comes out on Saturday live, right? We're recording this on Tuesday night, the week prior.
Yep.
So I'm picking up my Hierophant tomorrow.
Oh my god.
In pieces, right? I need to clean it, build it, and then gonna build it tomorrow, and then paint it on Thursday, and hopefully I'll have it all sorted for Friday night.
Oh
Good
my
luck.
God.
You
You've been
can do it.
painting on Friday night.
Oh man, even like, well no, because I've got the airbrush now, I should be right. But even so, like currently on the table, like I just finished the Harridan, and the table's still got 6 Warriors and 3 Hive Guard. And like, unfortunately, just because of the list I wanted to play being a bit silly and a bit, just fun and crazy and stupid, that like not everything's gonna be painted to the same standard, which is a little bit annoying. But I'd rather have fun at a tournament with the list I want to play rather than just being stuck with what I got sort of thing, or having to take a different army. So yeah,
So what you're saying is, for all the people who are listening to this on Saturday and have seen your Saturday morning Instagram updates of you in our Airbnb painting this Biotitan,
yeah. Well, I thought about that. I'm like, do I actually bring everything? I'm like, no. I'll be just doing like mad hours.
If you need to.
Yeah, but am I going to cart all my stuff all the way to Geelong? It's like that.
What, like a brush, a palette, and some paints?
No, I'll probably just take it to F-Work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just we, Lawrence and I also had a
Practice game.
a practice game on Wednesday last week, and that went very differently.
Yeah, you just torched me.
Yeah, pretty much, just melted like 3 big knights a turn. So,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Rinse. I think it was over by the end of turn 2. Yeah, start of turn 3. He had one
Yes.
Moirax left.
Yeah, one more.
Wow.
How did you manage that?
Yeah. Well.
He was the first player, so
Yeah. First turn really helped because the Hierophant and the Harridan they can get the +1 to hit buffs. So like
Right, from the Warriors.
from the Warriors. So the Hierophant has 16 shots at strength 10 -3 damage. It's hitting on 2s. So you're like, and then you spend the 2
Wow.
CP for Pathogenic Slime to make it damage 4, and then when it gets in combat, it's yes, that is my phone. And then when you're in combat, because it's Scything Talons, it's 2s rerolling 1s,
Ooh.
and because of the Harridan, it's a flyer, it can move block. Like it was just a little bit unfortunate for. I think it would have swung entirely the other way if Lawrence had first turn. Because all my warriors probably would have been dead first turn, therefore I would have been getting no buffs on my first turn, and all these kinds of things. So it's just one of those things that got to play into the terrain very well and all those kinds of things, and it's just funny. I mean, like his Lancer one-shot the Barbed Hierodule in combat. Like just walked up to it and just like
That's epic.
That's strength
Just
8.
like- yeah.
Damage 8, isn't it?
it's damage 6.
Damage 6. Okay.
Is it damage? No, it is damage 8. Sorry, my damage is damage 6.
Yeah. The Lancer's damage
Wow.
8.
Yeah,
That's
so
incredible.
and just it's the one big bug in the army that doesn't have an invo. So
Yep.
because it's got a 2-up save, so I'm like, whatever. And then he's the one who's like, oh, that's -4. I'm like, oh, damn it, it's 6s. So anyway, it'll be fun. I don't expect to. I think majority of my games are either going to be won and lost by turn 2, which I think is just fun. 3,000 points, and we're only got a two. Is it a 2.5 hour time cap?
3.5.
3.5.
Oh, so okay. Wow.
Which is still really bloody quick to play a 3,000 point game.
It is, especially if you're
Like-
playing like proper. Like if you were like, if I was thinking like, if I couldn't get the nids ready, I'd be like, oh, what else am I going to take? Looking at the racks, I was like, oh, I'll just take GK. And I'm like, do I want to play 3,000 points of GK of just bodies? I'm like, ugh, lame. So like, kind of like, well, is that actually going to fit the kind of the ethos of what it seems the tournament is going to be like? Is it really kind of fitting what we're all doing? Not really. So whatever. So it should be fun. I'm really excited. I'm really
Yeah.
pumped to see. I mean, I love big bugs, and the bigger the
They're-
bugs, the
they're
better.
awesome. I've been loving the pictures of your Harrod in the Discord on your Instagram as you've been painting them up.
So good.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, we'll see. So that's me.
Yeah.
Dalton,
So-
what about you?
Well, completing apparently all 4 of us the quadruck, the
Quartet.
True.
the quartet of us all bringing our first loves and our primary armies. I'm of course bringing the Necrons.
Yeah.
So we've got a lovely 3 Xenos and 1 Imperial player.
As it always should be.
Yeah, no chaos involved. None of that. None of that.
None of that malarkey.
I'm bringing the Necrons and following the same theme as Lockie of committing to painting way too much in the week beforehand.
Literally the week before.
The day before lists were due, I had a practice game against Lawrence, and this is one we talked about earlier. And I'd had one, or a couple of turns of one a week earlier against Charlie. And I sort of realised that the things I was including in my list to bring it up to 3,000 points, that extra 1,000 over my normal stuff, weren't really doing a lot. So the day before lists were due, I thought, oh, I've got an extra 20 warriors sitting somewhere in a box, new on sprue from the one of the Indominus boxes. I'll just put those together and I'll include those and I'll change my whole list around. Turns out not only did I change and add 20 more warriors and a bunch of other stuff, I didn't actually have the warriors sitting new on sprue somewhere. What I had was a box of old warriors with the green rods, built and half painted in a different scheme. So I've been spending all week like rearming them with the newer weapons and things and fixing those up, and I'm now finally going through and painting them.
Where'd you get all the new weapons from?
Well, because I've already built and painted 40 of the new warriors,
okay, yeah.
I had the spares from those sprues, those running frames. So my list is the Necrons because they're awesome. I love them. Custom Dynasty, of course, which is the OBSEC and the 6-inch pre-game move, because it's just the best one to take. And even though we're taking some more fun stuff, I'm still going to try and push and see what I can get out of the list.
That's fair.
I've got an Overlord as my Warlord. She's backed up by a Lord and a Destroyer Lord, and then 2 Technomancers, one of each Wargie variant. And then, because Lockie keeps asking me to bring it for 2,000 point games,
Do it.
60 Warriors.
Ah,
What?
yes. That's exactly what I want.
Every
60 warriors.
I mean, you say that, Lockie. Every time that I bring a list with Necrons, you're like, oh, why aren't you running more Warriors?
I know, because
And my answer is always because I haven't painted them. But I'm going to have them painted. So 60 Warriors, 40 Reapers, and 20 Flayers. And then making up the other 3 troops choices for my brigade are 3 units of Immortals. 10 with Tesla and 5 with Gauss.
I really hope I don't get paired with you.
Same as me.
Because it, like, as much as on a normal tournament, hell yeah, but I'll be like, it's just so not what, mate. Like, I want to be blowing up big things, not trying to kill little things.
Yeah. I mean, weirdly enough, hearing all your shots and your damages, I'm like, well, you'd struggle against this because you just don't have the tools to deal with
like
this many bodies.
lots of one wound models.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Volume
and then
shot's something we don't have. Well, this list doesn't have,
And then backing them up are my lovely 2 Reanimators. To keep them around a bit longer.
You're gonna make it work.
I mean, hey.
It has worked,
It
man.
has, yeah.
I mean, it's a proof.
has.
You've definitely proven that it works.
Yep. And I'm going to continue to refine that list as well. But for this one, 2 Reanimators, 5 Scorpic Destroyers and Plasma Sights, 5 Lich Guard that are actually fit in this list.
That are supposed to be there.
Yeah. And a Transcendent Catan because the model's fucking awesome. And I just can't not take it. It's just like, I've got to take it. It's cool. It's the biggest threat that I've got. And that's what this tournament's about.
Very cool.
Yes,
Fast attack. Yeah, 2 units of 3 Scarabs and a Tomb Sentinel.
The fucking things.
Good stuff. And then...
Scarabs, man, bane of my existence.
Oh
They're
my
fucked.
god.
Yeah.
4 wounds
They're
is just
awesome.
I'll never ever forget the fact that I have a 12-inch move now.
Yeah. Yeah, they move so fast. They're great. And then heavy support. A unit of 3 Locust Heavy Destroyers, a unit of 1 Locust Heavy Destroyer, and the Doomstalker. Oh, and sorry, also in the HQ slot is a Royal Warden. Something I've never taken before because I haven't had it painted, but it's something that my lists sorely need. Is that fallback and shoot?
Well, you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot. I'm just thinking now, like, as we were talking about before, how you were like, oh, you guys were saying, oh, there's going to be Drukhari there. I'm like, there's going to be, if someone, Drukhari with 3,000 points, like, that is a lot of models.
Yeah.
So many
That
models.
is a lot of
It's a lot.
Because they've got a limited list of models you can pick from as well. So it's all going to be just troops, loads of troops, and like.
Or they'll be maxing out rules of 3 on
Bolts,
everything.
yeah.
It'll be like 3 Cavaliers, 3 Witches, 3 blah, blah, 3 blah, 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 blah.
No, but I think in the tournament, I think they've changed the
4.
max to 3. I think it's 4.
No, it's max
It's
4.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it is. Sorry, yeah, they did do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And I did read that. You guys,
Yeah.
they bugger off.
I did consider painting 4 reanimators for this.
Oh my goodness.
Hilarious. That'd be so funny. And just like stomp them up the field like they're dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
I don't
wouldn't-
care.
like, I don't have enough warrior units for them to buff.
Yeah, because if
But-
you could go like 4 units of warriors and then 4 reanimators, and you have 1 reanimator per warrior, and then it's like you have just like each quadrant is just taken by like meh, 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 meh.
Well, just as a quick aside, you can fit upwards of 200 warriors in a 3,000 point list.
200.
You can fit more. You can fit upwards of that.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Did you say
goodness.
200 or 300?
200. I think the maximum you can fit in that list is I think 220.
Jeez.
220.
That is so nice. Imagine how many gaunts you could fit.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
devil gaunts, yeah. You just
Yeah,
win
yeah.
on shots. You'd be like whatever.
Screw shots, just bodies. Like, how the hell are you going to deal with that many bodies?
Yeah.
How
Well,
are you going
I
to
mean,
deploy that many bodies?
would you care? Just like your whole deployment zone is just devil gaunts.
I imagine you would show up with them in a bucket and just sort of pour them over the deployment zone.
Just throw them on
Or
the inside.
like yeah, whatever. That's
Like,
where they
yeah,
are,
that's-
bro. Like
That's where
have
they
fun.
are. I'll like, yeah.
Or you'd like AR it. You'd have like an AR thing and be like, "This is where my actual models are, bro," because I'm not actually fucking bringing
Yeah.
them.
But yeah, no, that's the Necrons. That should be good.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's super good that we're, I mean, look, I think we've stated before individually. I think with the first time with you, Lawrence, and then the first time with you, Charlie, as well. That we kind of, as much as we do, look at the meta globally, whatever, the US, Europe. I mean, we don't really have a lot of experience of the meta here because it's not really as publicized as
Yeah.
documented, I guess.
Yeah.
Or not publicly anyway.
Yeah.
You're not seeing streams of the top tables in Australia. I mean, you might for Uprising, but that's that's probably it. So
It's not every weekend or every couple of weekends like as it is in
Nah.
the US and overseas. Yeah.
And then even the podcasts that talk about it and stuff, and the guys that follow it, they're not real. They might talk about one in a month, one Australian tournament or something. And that's also just because
Yeah.
we just don't have that many. But
But we're
so
also, we're also quite separated. Like tournaments in Australia happen all the time, but they're all over Australia, and it's quite a big place to travel around.
it's a very big place for all of you that are not in Australia. Australia's massive. Google it.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
We are
Yeah.
real, and we're not paid by NASA.
That's what we want you to think.
Exactly. Shh, don't tell them, bro. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. It's going to be cool to explore that, I guess. Even
Yeah.
with not meta, quote unquote meta lists or anything.
Well,
So
it's a good way to get into it and sort of break into that scene, so to speak.
speaking of 3,000 points of Drakari, what's going to be weird is 3,000 points of demons
Mm.
Yeah,
when you can like
Be'lakor.
get more horrors and get more
Some-
horrors
some of
and
the
get more
sweet
horrors.
Be'lakors that we're gonna see.
I know it's going to be sick.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. I hope I get paired against a demons list because I actually want to play against a demons player because I want to play demons. So
I just want to see all the sweet models everyone's painting.
yeah.
Because we've all been in lockdowns. We've all had loads of painting time.
Well, yes.
Well, some of us.
have.
This past week has been quite.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's been great putting 3 colours on so many models. Cool.
But so that's what's happening. I think that pretty much rounds out what we had planned to talk about for the podcast because we haven't actually gone yet. It's all happening. It's happening today. If you're listening to this podcast on the day it's released, of course. If
Yes.
you listen to it later, it happened last week or last month or several years ago.
And
You
still,
can directly choose the one of those that fits whenever it is you're listening to this.
but still relevant, go to our Instagram and find the posts from the day.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot of work on your part, obviously, but you're a dedicated listener and you love
Yeah.
us. So
I mean,
have fun doing that.
if it's years from the date and you're listening to back listening to podcasts, I imagine you are. So
Well,
Yeah.
you know, good for you. That's all
Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
great
That's awesome.
stuff.
Thank you. You're a great
Yeah.
supporter of the channel, and we will love you forever. We do
Yeah.
love you forever.
Yeah. But yeah, so just a quick outline of what's going. If you want to read all these lists in detail, there's a link down in the description to a Google Doc that contains all of the lists. So you can go and you can check that out. The Instagram today will be having all sorts of updates and as we go, things with what's going on at the tournament and tomorrow as well for the second day.
Yes.
And then over the course of the next week on Instagram, we'll be posting up showcases of each of our armies that we took. The Eldar, the Knights, the Nids and the Necrons.
Nice.
And then also a bit of a kind of summary posts about a few games, potentially some scores, and then we're also going to have a post tourney potty.
We are. So next week, next Saturday, when we've been to the tournament, we've played our games, we've brought home our wooden spoons.
We've got the top 4 spots, obviously.
Yes,
you know.
yes, yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
Sure.
gonna have another podcast, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go, all right, well, what games and matchups did we do, and how did we go, and what was the experience of going to a tournament? How was that, and you know, seeing people and going to an event after the last couple of years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well,
Just on a side note.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have metal rulers at school?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
ever used to like hold it? Because you know how one end is rounded and one end is
Yeah.
square.
yeah,
You always just like pull it out like a sword. It'd be like shing.
yeah.
Mm.
What else were they for?
I've literally been doing
you
that
didn't
for the
use it
past
for
like
measuring
30
stuff.
minutes, and it's.
You did it for the last hour.
I've been doing it for the last 30 minutes. It's really satisfying. Just pretending I've got a sword. It's like a little. What are the Legionnaire swords called? The short swords. The Roman ones.
Falcon.
Starts with B
which
or
one?
something, or G, or. You know, everyone know. You know the swords I'm talking about, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
the
I've
little
got one of
stabby swords they've got.
them. Stabby. Wah!
I've got a sword
Yeah.
in my house.
Like an
I've got-
actual sword.
I've got a claymore.
Oh wow!
Isn't that an explosive?
Yes.
No, it's a big sword.
But it is also a big sword. It was a sword before it was a grenade thing.
Is that why they called it a grenade thing? They named the grenade thing after the mine. They named the mine after the
Look,
sword.
I'm going to say yes, but definitely do not take my word for it.
Taking your word for it, you've been
We need a
very,
fact check.
very
We need a fact check.
confidently saying that you know that.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll just take
Gladius.
Gladius, that's it.
Gladius,
Yeah,
that's the
Gladius.
Gladius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one in my hand, everyone. Rah!
it.
Sorry, that was
Dude.
just weird digression.
It's a ruler. Get over it.
Well, on that note, thank you everyone for joining and listening to us. And if you've managed to stick with us and not go off looking for your own metal rulers, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming on, Lawrence and Charlie.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been great to chat to you about this one, and I look forward to our discussion next week as well about having been to the tournament.
It's gonna
And
be
of
very-
course, I'm excited to play the tournament.
yeah, it's gonna be dope, man.
Yeah. So excited.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for listening.
We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
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 Bye.